Burgess County, Maryland, is now in session. My name is Aretha Bridgewater Sims, Board of License Commission Chair, and I will be presiding over tonight's hearing. Welcome. And before we get to the first item on our agenda, please indulge me while I go over a few housekeeping items on how this virtual meeting is going to work. I trust everyone participating tonight is safe and well. I request your patience. As you know, technology has its challenges. So in this virtual environment, patience is something that I ask each of you to embrace. At the Board of License Commission, we endeavor to be as efficient as possible in our virtual environment. So thank you in advance for your patience. This is a public meeting subject to the Maryland Open Meetings Act. So a truthful, transparent, open, and honest dialogue and a record of tonight's hearing is required. As such, there are some formalities that will take place that may appear redundant, but nonetheless important and required to ensure compliance with the law. In that regard, I will conduct a roll call of the commissioners to ensure we have a quorum. I will conduct a roll call of the commissioners for every vote to ensure we have an accurate record. In addition, I will conduct a roll call of the Board of License Commission faculty and staff so that we have identified everyone on the line from our agency, so that the public knows who is represented in tonight's hearing. I will ask everyone who testifies or who speaks tonight to self-identify and to speak loudly and clearly to ensure that you are heard. To ensure we have a quorum, I will conduct a roll call vote of the commissioners. Commissioners, when I call your name, please say present and indicate whether you are with someone or alone. Commissioner Sparkman.
Present and alone.
Commissioner Camacho.
Present alone.
Commissioner Norman.
Present and alone.
Commissioner Smith.
Present and alone.
And I am Commissioner Bridgewater Sims. I am present and alone. We have a quorum. Board of License Commission faculty and staff, when I call your name, please say present and indicate whether you are with someone or alone. Director Shepherd.
Present and alone.
Chief Inspector Clark.
Present and alone.
Deputy Inspector Mendoza.
Present and alone.
Deputy Inspector Voss.
Present and alone.
Miss Patty Bell.
Present and alone.
Miss Kiana Little.
Present and alone.
Miss Catrice James.
Present and alone.
Miss Ariana Posada.
Present and not alone.
Miss Alicia Hughes.
Present and alone.
Agency Attorney, Mr. Jason Deloach.
Present and alone.
Court Reporter.
Present and alone.
Thank you. We are good to go. As previously mentioned, this is an open meeting, and to ensure compliance with the law and with our goal of transparency when speaking during this hearing, please identify yourself and speak loudly and clearly so that everyone can hear your testimony. As a professional courtesy, when not speaking, please mute your phone. If someone from the public wishes to speak, the chair will recognize you at the end of the business on the agenda. Before I turn it over to our director, I have a final note of importance, and I need everyone to hear me on this. Everyone's voice matters at the Board of License Commission. We understand that some may be passionate about what they have to say. and passion in this regard is permissible. What is not permissible, to be sure, is if truth, facts, and respect are not grounded in your voice. So thank you in advance for being truthful, factual, and respectful during the entire proceeding tonight. And finally, we have a 10 days process that our director will explain. Mr. Director.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Since this hearing is taking place in a virtual setting, there's a certain exchange between our licensees, our commissioners, and our attorneys that cannot take place. Hence, the board has instituted a 10-day rule. The 10-day rule allows our licensees and our attorneys 10 days from today's date to add items to the record. And if the board so chooses, they will invoke the 10-day rule and make a ruling 10 days after today's date or the next available hearing. Madam Chair?
All right. We are ready. If there are no questions, let's get started. Mr. Director, take us through tonight's hearing agenda.
Regular session for February the 11th, 2026. The first case is The Spot, located at 4531 Telfair Boulevard, Suite 101, Camp Springs, Maryland. They are here to explain their change in the mode of operation. Is there anyone here from The Spot or representing The Spot? Any licensee here today representing the business The Spot, located at 4531 Telfair Boulevard? All right, in that case, maybe we'll come back to that one. We'll give them a little bit of time to attempt to log on. All right, I'll move on to case number 2. The next case is Laurel Food Mart, located at 9107 Marshall Avenue, Laurel, Maryland, 20707. And they're here for an alleged violation of Rule and Regulation number 11 of the Rules and Regulations for Prince George's County, which is purchased by other than an authorized retailer. And they're represented by Mr. Robert Kim, Esquire. Mr. Kim, I'll allow you to introduce your client. Mr. Kim?
Thank you. Good evening, Director. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. Bob Kim on
Good
behalf of Laurel Food Mart. With me tonight are Mrs. Hyung Kim. Mrs. Kim, can you unmute? And Mr. Hee Young Kwan, KWAN. Mr. Kwan, can you unmute? There they are. They're both present. Their 2 licensees are present and ready to state their name and address and testify if necessary. Although I don't believe that I'm going to need any of their testimony, Madam Chair.
And Madam Chair, we do have Inspector Kinney representing the Board of License Commissioners, and he was the inspector who did this inspection. So he is available and ready to be sworn in as well.
All right. Would you all raise your right hand for the oath? All right. Do you hereby swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Yes, I do.
All right. At this time, you can put your hands down, but please give your name and your home address or agency for the record.
Do you want to start with Inspector Kinney, Madam Chair?
Yes. Inspector Kinney, would you start?
Yes, ma'am. Inspector Brandon Kinney, Board of Licensing Commissioners.
Thank you.
Mr. Kwan, can you give us your name and home address without an interpreter right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Give us your name and home address.
Hee Young Kwan, 15750 Cool Spring Drive, Haymarket, Virginia, 20169.
Madam Chair, Mr. Kwan is the President, Secretary, Treasurer of the entity that owns Food Mart. And Mrs. Kim, would you please just tell us your name and home address?
Yes, my name is Hyung Kim. My address is 10214 Westwood Drive, Columbia, Maryland, 21044.
And Madam Chair, Mrs. Kim is the Assistant Secretary of JoJo Food Inc., trading as Laurel Food Market, and we're prepared to proceed.
All right. Now we will have the inspector's report. Mr. Kinney.
Yes, ma'am. On Monday, January 5th, 2026, at approximately 6:18 p.m., Inspector Brandon Kinney conducted a routine inspection at Laurel Food Mart, located at 9107 Marshall Avenue, Laurel, Maryland. During the inspection, I observed 4 boxes of alcoholic beverages located on the main store floor near the registers. Upon examination, I discovered that the shipping labels were addressed to DC Grocery Cash and Carry, located at 291 V Street, Northeast Washington, D.C. The labels displayed varying flavors of Sutter Home wine and featured inconsistent delivery dates. I requested the corresponding purchase invoices from the manager on duty, identified as Yoon Pai. Ms. Pai stated that she does not handle purchasing and was unable to locate the documents. She contacted the store owner, and a comprehensive review of invoices maintained on the premises revealed that no evidence that the items were obtained through an authorized wholesaler. This is a direct violation of RR number 11, purchases by authorized retailer. Licensee holder shall purchase any alcoholic beverages except from a duly licensed manufacturer or wholesaler. No license holder shall at any time keep or permit to be kept upon the licensed premises any alcoholic beverages unless purchased in accordance with this rule and regulations. The 4 boxes were seized as evidence and transported to the Board of Licensing Commissioners office and secured in the evidence storage closet by myself. Manager Yoon Pai expressed that she understands the violation and signed the inspection report. I left the premises at approximately 6:59 p.m. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions regarding this report?
Madam Chair, I have no questions of Inspector Kinney and his comprehensive report.
All right, thank you. Commissioners, do you have a question about the report? All right, hearing none. Mr. Kim, I'll turn this over to you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, the person who's not here tonight is a Mr. Kwon, Hong Jung, H-A-U-N-G, Kwon, K-W-O-N, who is a 24% stockholder and generally the on-site manager. I spoke to him. I spoke to the employees. Mr. Kwon was sort of lost at his words because he didn't know where these came from. I mean, obviously they're labeled from somewhere who's not an authorized wholesaler. He acknowledges that. He went through his payment records. He didn't see any payments coming out of the store. He didn't even know when they got when those boxes came into the store. I mean, that's the best explanation we have. We don't dispute Inspector Kinney's report. They certainly were not from an authorized wholesaler. So we will admit to the violation and ask the board to go be lenient on the fine for the store. This is their first offense, and they've been business for several years. So I would respectfully request that you take that into consideration.
All right, commissioners, do you have questions? All right, hearing none, may I have a motion?
This is Commissioner Camacho. I move to find the licensee trading as Laurel Food Market in violation of rule and regulation number 11A and C, purchasing from other than an authorized wholesaler, and assess a fine of $1,500.
This is Commissioner Norman. I second the motion to find Laurel Food Market in violation and assess the $1,500 penalty.
All right, is there a question regarding the motion? All right, hearing none, let's vote. Commissioner Sparkman.
Aye.
Commissioner Camacho.
Aye.
Commissioner Norman.
Aye.
Commissioner Smith.
Aye.
And chair votes aye. So the motion to fine Laurel Food Mart $1,500 penalty passes.
Thank you very much. We will be more diligent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
All
you,
right.
Mr. Klein. Mrs. Kim, you can go. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Director.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll call the next case, or I'll call the previous case, is The Spot located at 4531 Telfair Boulevard, Suite 101, they're called before the board to address the change in the mode of operation. And I do have Mr. Jeffrey, excuse me for not pronouncing this correctly, Mr. Jeffrey Sizza? C, okay.
C.
Mr. Jeffrey C is here. All right, Madam Chair?
All right. At this time, I'm going to ask you, do you have an attorney, Mr. C?
No, I do not.
Are you aware that you have a right to an attorney?
Yes.
So are you proceeding without an attorney?
Yes.
Okay. So anyone who's going to speak in this case, please raise your right hand for the oath.
I guess me.
All right. Do you hereby swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
I do.
I do.
Okay. All right. Would each of you state your name, home address, or agency for the record?
Yes, I'm Robert Clark, the Chief Liquor Inspector for the Board of License Commissioners.
I'm Jeffrey C. Home address is 11515 Green Street, Fulton, Maryland 20759.
Thank you. All right. Would you please give your presentation, please?
I'm going to
Your
defer.
report.
I'm going to defer to the Commissioner Camacho, but I will give a foundation. The inspectors have been going to the spot to basically conduct inspections, and on numerous occasions they found that the location, the bar area, was not open for business. And there were only a couple times when they were open. And I know they also put in a request to have their hours of operation open until 2 a.m. And it was my understanding that it didn't ever appear that the restaurants were actually open to that time frame. So what we did is we sent a couple of inspectors out to verify the hours of operation for the restaurants. And the latest time was 10 o'clock and the average time was 9 o'clock that the restaurants advised the inspectors that they would be open. And because of that reason, we wanted to ensure that the licensee for the bar was brought in so they could have a better understanding of how the operation has to work in regards to them being open, as well as the restaurants. They have to kind of match. The restaurants can't close before the bar. The bar can't be open unless food is being sold. And so this is why they were asked to come in and speak to the board.
Okay, Mr. Say,
Yes.
can you tell us right now, what are your current hours of operation?
Right now, so we have it set. I guess first I want to apologize for being late. I could not log into the Zoom meeting. So currently we wanted the hours to be Thursday to Monday.
No, what are they now?
Oh, what are
Not
they?
what they want to be. What are they now?
It's from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. We try to that's the
Okay.
yeah, so the restaurant hour is a little earlier, but we still serve some basic food from the bar area, just to make sure that we still have food provided to our customers.
Okay, when you say food provided from the bar area, what exactly goes on there?
Really just fries and chicken, just very basic. We're not we're not serving a variety of food after most of the restaurants are closed, so we're just offering some very basic menus food to the customers.
So, okay, but where is this being cooked?
At one of
You don't have a kitchen. You don't have a kitchen in the bar, right?
Oh no, at one of the kitchen, yes. We have multiple kitchen.
Okay, I mean, you're saying that they don't belong to a restaurant, but belong to you? As the
Yes, it
operator?
belongs to the spot, yes.
It belongs to the spot, so you have designated kitchen areas
Yes.
that belong to the spot.
Yes.
Okay, and where are those? Within the food hall or just outside? or
Within the
where?
food hall, yes.
Within the food hall. Okay. Okay. Okay, now operating hours right now, currently, not what you want them, what they are now.
Right now it's Thursday to Monday, from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m.
And then that's it? You have any other days open?
Thursday to Monday.
Thursday through Monday. Okay.
Yeah, so we're closed on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Tuesday and Wednesday. That's right. I just want to know. Tuesday and
Oh.
Wednesday. Okay. Now, your restaurants, upon our inspectors stopping there and talking to them, say that most of them close by 9 or 10 o'clock.
Yes, 10 o'clock.
So, because you cannot be serving, you cannot be, if the restaurants are closed unless you're providing your own food, which is what you say you're doing.
Yes.
Okay. Now, who operates the kitchen?
The bartender has a kitchen staff helping her.
So there's a kitchen staff, and the bartender basically directs whatever is what he needs,
Yes.
and they prepare whatever he needs.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you then, why is it that our inspectors would go there over a period of months, and from early in the afternoon, middle afternoon, till certain hours of the night, and almost all the time there was no one at the bar?
Yeah, so there's a very I think it's on my end. It's a miscommunication error and also some management error as well. I did talk to the bartender, the management team on the bartender, and really emphasize that the hours of operation are very important. So for example, we used to open on Wednesday, and the bartenders think that there is not enough customer. Basically there's not enough traffic for the bar, and so without letting me know, they've decided to not open on Wednesday. I didn't really know that until very later on, and so I did emphasize this multiple times, and that is again my mistake on my end. And so going forward, I'll definitely communicate a lot more with our bartender and make sure they're following their guidelines and operating in the right hours.
Well, unfortunately, that's not satisfactory because you are the licensee.
Yes.
Everybody who's beneath you is an agent of yours.
Yes.
And basically, they have no responsibility. You're the one who's
Yes.
responsible.
Yes, I am very well aware of that. And so, a lot of the time when they clock out, I am not aware, because I don't usually go there on Wednesday as well, because I know that it's not a busy day, and so that's why that is also again my full responsibility, and I am fully aware of that.
Okay, which leads me to the next question.
Yes.
What days are you there regularly?
I usually try to go there on weekends, but I try to go in stealth mode, just try to walk around, making sure the operation is, in good flow.
Okay, now can we set up a time, for example, if our staff calls you up and says, we want to stop in on a certain date within a certain hour, and we want to see the kitchens that you're speaking of that belong to you and are dedicated solely to providing food to the bar?
Yeah, I believe so. So usually I think Friday and Saturday we'll definitely have those. And Sunday, I think they did close a little early. So weekdays, so basically the Friday and Saturday, they have it, they have food providing, and then Sunday and Thursday, so Thursday, Sunday, and Monday, they don't really open until like that late.
Okay, just one second. Mr. Director, I can't hear anyone. I can't hear him.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I could hear him just fine. I think it might be.
Yeah, I
you,
can't hear you.
sir.
I've lost the sound.
All right. If you're
So you
indulgent,
can
please, I'm
continue,
gonna try to-
continue with the conversation, because I'm going to have to try to either reboot or go to my phone.
Okay, so he's going to reboot. And
I
so
did
does while he's rebooting, I'm sorry, does any of the other commissioners have any questions? I think there's some more questions for our licensee. Ms. Norman, do you have a question?
Yes, I did. Good evening, Mr. Z. How are you?
Good evening. Yes.
This is Commissioner Norman. So, you had asked that you said you all were going to be closed on Wednesdays, but then you said we received a request that you be open Monday through Sunday.
Oh, no, Thursday to Monday.
Okay, but that's not the request we received.
Hmm?
The request we received said Monday through Sunday. Is that correct, Miss Patty?
I don't
So
think
that's not.
Yes, we received a
Yes.
request on December 9th.
It's Monday through Sunday, 4 p.m. to 2 a.m.
I do not recall sending that email, but
Well, who signed the email, Miss Patty?
I'm going to pull it up right now.
Thank you. And then, Mr. C, correct me if I'm wrong. When we had initially issued this license, it was the understanding that the spot was not necessarily providing food, but the other establishments were providing the food. And the spot was only serving alcohol during the time that the other establishments were open. So
Yes.
has that mode of operation changed?
no. So we have one of the store is closed down, and we've tried to have other restaurants open, right? But basically there is not enough revenue to keep one of the stores open. And so in order for us to open for a little longer, we wanted to offer some basic food for our customers.
But isn't that a change in your mode of operation?
But we don't serve food prior to, when all the stores are open. So we're really just trying to provide, otherwise, because if the bar closes at 9, then we, we're just trying to stay a little later than
Well, 2 a.m. is not a little later to me.
Yeah. So I don't think that's viable. So
Ms. Bell, can you provide us who sent the email?
Yes, it came from SEP office. The email address is sep08@ymail.com. It was sent on Tuesday, December 9th at 2:33 p.m. to Miss Little.
That's the other person who helps me manage the bar.
So Mr. C, I'm a little concerned here, okay?
Yes.
One of the things that we ask when we issue a license, and especially when you're not represented by an attorney, is that you are familiar with the rules and the regulations of the board.
Yeah.
And that you're required to have a copy of those rules and regulations on site, right?
Yes, it is on site.
But it's clear to me that you're not fully aware of what the rules and regulations say, or you're not the one really running the business and you don't really know what's going on. So help us understand here, because you're telling me you didn't submit this request, but somebody else did. It's outside of what the scope that we thought it was, because our inspectors were not looking for a kitchen because we were not under the impression that you provided food. So help me understand.
Recording in progress.
Yeah, so sorry, I'm hearing echo. Hello. Oh, okay. Yes, I am definitely so the day-to-day operation, we do have a manager as well on site. It's so I think the bar hasn't been really generating a lot of the revenue, and we're really trying to offer a little more for our customers to come to the bar and I thought it would be okay to how should I explain this? So when at first we wanted to run this bar, it was that the rest of the restaurant will provide the food while the bar is only serving alcohol. But it's we've spoke to several owners and we actually did try to have some of them stay late with us, but it just did not work out at all. And so we think we're just serving a little bit of food after the hours.
Well, did you provide us a menu?
And no, it was just fries and wings. And that's pretty much the only thing that we offer.
Okay. And then you're telling us the hours aren't 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. Monday through Sunday. You're saying something different, right?
Yes, it should be Thursday to Monday.
Okay. So, Mr. C, I think you need to go back and get with your manager.
Yes.
And you all need to put together what your business plan or model is going to be. And then you need to come back to us and give us what you're going to do and what you'd like to do. And so that we can be assured that it is within the guidelines of the type of license that you have.
Yes.
And that you're not changing your mode of operation of things of that nature.
Okay, I'm fully aware of that, and I think it has been pretty rough last year that we're trying to get more revenue on the bar area, and yes, and I'm sorry that I haven't. I guess I did not. I wasn't. I guess I didn't keep up with the requirement, and that was totally my mistake, and I apologize for that.
Okay, and then understanding, Mr. Z, that when you say you're going to be open,
yes,
our inspectors can come at any time that you have told us it's going to be open.
Yes.
And if you say you're going to serve food, then food is going to have to be available.
Yes.
So how long do you think it's going to take you to go back and get things organized and squared away and documented so you can submit it to us again and we can have another conversation?
Yeah, sure. At most 10 days. I'll get everything together.
So Director, can we get him on another schedule and giving him an opportunity to get his business plan together? So it can really reflect actually what he's doing.
Commissioner Norman, we can absolutely do that. However, the agenda for February and then again for March is a little tied up. Ms. Bell, what does it look like for the daytime hearing in March? Is that tied up as well right now? Ms. Bell, you're on mute. Oh, she went back on mute.
You're still muted.
Sorry, I'm going to check the agenda.
Okay. We'll Commissioner Norman, we'll come up with a most expedient date that he can get back before the board. But the next 2 to 3 hearings are a little tied up because we canceled that hearing because of the snow. We had to push everything back. And
So, Mr. C, do you understand that you cannot operate outside of the guidelines that you initially provided us?
Yes.
Okay. So until such time you have provided us different documentation and we have approved it, then you need to be operating within the guidelines that you initially set up for, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so let's be clear. And if the hours say what they say, and the inspectors can come, they should be able to come during those hours, okay?
So it's Monday to Sunday. Wait, that was not what I
Yeah, but what I'm saying right now, you need to operate on the premise of what you have initially given us, because
Oh, okay.
that's what we're going to. And until such time,
Okay.
you provide us different documentation and support, and we approve it, then you can make the appropriate changes. But until we can get you on the schedule, you need to be operating status quo.
Okay. We'll do that. Thank you.
We understand?
Yes, understand.
Okay.
And Ms. Norman, we can get him back in the evening hearing in March. So that'll be the first, I believe it's the first or second Wednesday in the month of March.
Okay, so would you please work with the office and make sure, don't provide the information the day of the hearing now. You need to give it to them in advance so they can make sure everything's in line.
Yes, I'll probably send out the email to the office probably next week.
Okay,
And thank you.
I'm ready. Thank you.
This is Commissioner Sparkman. Also, with the information that Commissioner Norman is requiring, we also going to need to know the name of the restaurant, because you said you all provide wings and French fries.
Oh yeah. It's really just the
And-
bar. Like the bar. Like the spot bar.
But you said you had a kitchen.
Yes.
So you
there's
you
an
have a
empty
kitchen.
kitchen that we have.
Okay, so you're using a vacant kitchen area
Yes.
to prepare your food?
Yes. But I think right now, let me see if I can talk to our tenant and because as we have discussed that that will be a change of operation, and so let me discuss with one of the tenant and see if they're able to provide food during that time.
Okay, well, that information needs to be included in the
Yes.
email
Will do.
once you submit it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other comments? All right, Mr. Director.
All right, Madam Chair. So that case is going to be continued until the March hearing. And so I just want to let the audience know that if there's anyone here who's sitting in on behalf of Town Center Market, if there's anyone here that is here for the Town Center Market case, that case has been continued to our next hearing at the request of the attorney that represents Town Center Market. So that case is not going to be heard tonight. You can check our website to see when the date is rescheduled for, but that case has been continued. If there's anyone here for Town Center Market. All right. All right. So I'll go ahead and call the next case.
Oh.
The next case is Terrapin Turf, located at 4410 Knox Road, College Park, Maryland, 20740 for an alleged violation of rule and regulation number 83, alcohol awareness, and violation of rule and regulation number 32, cooperation. I think I do see the two licensees here representing Terrapin Turf, and it is my understanding that they are not represented by an attorney. Madam Chair, we also have Inspector Shay Johnson and Inspector Ed Gregory on behalf of the Board of License Commissioners.
All right. Welcome, everyone. I'd like to ask you first, do you have an attorney?
No, we do not. We do not.
All right. Are you aware that you have a right to an attorney?
Yes, we do.
Okay. And are you proceeding without an attorney? All right.
Yes.
Would you all raise your right hand for the oath? Everyone who plans to speak tonight, including the inspectors, raise your right hand for the oath. Do you hereby all right. Do you hereby swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Would each of you, and we can start with the inspectors, please give your name and your agency for the record?
I am Shay Johnson, Board of License Commissioners, PG County.
I am Edward Gregory, Board of License Commissioners, Prince George's County.
All right. Would the licensees please give your name and home address for the record?
My name is Salome Afshar, 9 Blueberry Ridge Court, Potomac, Maryland, 20854.
All right.
My name is Yasmin Afshar, and my address is 12820 Trivilla Road, Potomac, Maryland, 20854.
All right.
My name is Mike Afshar. I live at 7138 River Road, Bethesda, Maryland, 20817.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we will have the inspector's report.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Madam Chair. Before I begin, I'm compelled to let everyone know, since there are also people listening in at home, that I'd like to warn you guys that this report does include explicit language. This is regarding the Terrapin Turf trading as 17 Bill X787 located at 4410 Knox Road in College Park, Maryland, 20748. On Friday, October 24th, 2025 at approximately 9:50 p.m., I, Inspector Johnson, and Inspector Gregory arrived at Terrapin Turf located at 4410 Knox Road, College Park, Maryland, 20740 to conduct an entertainment inspection. We were met at the interior entrance by owners Yasmin Afshar, Salome, and the manager Marzouk. Towards the end of the inspection, I asked Yasmin Afshar if she was certified in alcohol awareness, and she stated she was not. I inquired whether any other individual on the premises possessed the required alcohol awareness certification, as prior inspections consistently confirmed that the bartenders were certified. The other two employees also stated they were not certified. Salome Afshar stated she would go check. Kareem Marzouk also stated he would check the employees to see if someone had the certification. He left and rejoined us a few times during our visit. She left us to inquire if any of the other employees had a certification confirming training. Salome Afshar began yelling and screaming, "This is bullshit," among other obscene words and profanity. She yelled in my face, "You're just abusing your authority. You don't have the right to do this. No one ever did this before. You just want to fucking violate us for some bullshit, and I am not signing anything." I asked her to step aside so we could discuss the matter away from the patrons, and she continued to use verbally abusive language.
Wow.
Dr. Gregory intervened to help de-escalate this situation, and she began using more verbally explicit language. I informed Ms. Afshar that because there was no one present on the premises at the time of my inspection with an alcohol safety awareness certification, Terrapin Turf was in direct violation of RR 83 alcohol awareness in part. Number 1, pursuant to Section 4-505 and 261902, 1 of the Alcoholic Beverage Article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, the licensees of or a person employed at a licensed premises must be certified by an approved alcohol awareness program. Number 2 states the license holder or an individual designated by the license holder who is employed in a supervisory capacity shall be present on the licensed premises at all times when alcoholic beverages may be sold. Inspector Gregory initially had the manager, Mr. Marzouk, sign the survey 123, but eventually persuaded Ms. Yasmin Afshar to sign when I mentioned to her that her disrespect and lack of cooperation was also a direct violation of RR number 32 inspections, which states in part all license holders, their agents and employees must cooperate with the health department, Department of Permitting, Inspections and Enforcement, grand jury representatives of the Board of License Commissioners, members of the police department, fire authorities, and representatives of other authorized agencies. Whenever any of these persons are on the licensed premises on official business and shall comply with the reasonable order of such authorities or other public authority designated to promote the health, safety, and general welfare of the public at large. We exited the premises at approximately 10:32 p.m. This concludes my report.
All right. Inspector Gregory, did you want to add anything?
No, ma'am. Those facts are correct.
All right. Next, I'll ask, are there any questions regarding the report? Next. And I want to ask the licensees, do you have a question regarding the report?
Several, yes. And we also have our manager that was on duty present with us as well, Mr. Kareem Marzuki. There was definitely a change to the events that took place that evening.
Okay, but did you have a question for the inspectors?
No,
No,
we would just like
we
to
would like
okay.
our opportunity
All
to
right.
speak to the board.
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
commissioners, did you have a question for the inspectors?
No.
All right, hearing none, I will have the licensees give your information regarding this incident
Thank you.
at this
Good
time.
Thank you so much. Good evening, Madam Chairman and all members of the board. We thank you all for this opportunity and your time to be able to speak to the events of that evening. We would like to kind of speak on, as Inspector Johnson said, there was different interactions, one with myself, Kareem Marzuki was a witness to the entire evening, then with my business partner and sister, and then again, the inspection wrapped up with me. So we would like to touch on
We'll go
the
in the
events.
sequence of kind of how it happened.
All right.
So
Okay.
everyone can get a
I'm
clear
sorry.
picture of what it was.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
This Commissioner Sparkman, could you identify yourself before you speak so we
Yes.
can have, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I'm Salome Afshar.
And I am Yasmin Afshar.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. So in regards to RR 83, the tips certification, at the moment, a certified tips bartender shift had not begun and the other one had just left. So we had a lag in a few hours, but because they were not physically on the floor. The inspection occurred during a shift change when several of our servers had already left and concluded the dinner service on the premises. Our tip certified bartender was scheduled and on call for the evening as well. When we originally obtained the license 13 years ago, the directive required license holders to maintain tip certification, but did not require a certified individual to physically be present on the premises at all times. My own certification had expired a few months prior to this visit, and I was operating under the understanding of the original directive. If I had been aware of the requirement I had and the shift in the mandate, a certified individual would have been physically present at all times. I would have immediately ensured that my certification, as well as all other manager certifications, was current and scheduled accordingly. Since becoming aware of this issue, we have brought our certifications fully up to date. Documentation reflecting the certifications of our other staff from that date and of our managers were submitted to the board. At no time we would like the board to know that there was any intent to disregard the regulation. If there was a deficiency, it was unintentional and occurred during a shift transition and has been fully corrected on our part. We would like to then move into, this is what took place initially, where we had asked for the tip certification, and Ms. Johnson said that I had stepped away at this time to see if there was anyone else during that time that had the certification present to present her.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Miss Yasmin, is that correct?
Yes.
So you said a shift change. What time does the shift change?
So it's between dinner and our night shift where our servers are closing
Happy
out,
hour.
our happy hour shift. So our average shift is from like 4 to about, on Fridays, it's about 4 to 10, like 9. There's a 2 to 9 p.m. shift for our servers and a 4 to 10 p.m. And the inspection began at 9:50 when we had closed out our servers. And
Same hours.
after that is when our bartenders come after 11.
Okay, because two of you were kind of talking at the same time. So
Because I do I should answer this because I do the bartender schedule.
Thank
so
you.
let me address this specific. She was speaking, but because I handle the schedule and I try to always make sure that we have those times.
Okay. And you are Miss
Salome.
Okay.
Salome.
What's the shift change?
Right. So my bartenders are usually a lot of the ones that also have license. So her and I usually speak about it and make sure between her servers and my bartenders, there's someone always there. On that particular evening, the one that was on went on break for their evening break because they kind of work a double. And then the other person that was going to come in for the evening begins at 11. It just kind of corresponds with this 9:50 to 10:52 that it just happened to be unfortunate for us. That's what it was. It just happened that way. Just happened to happen that way that evening. It just happened to happen that way that evening because we have quite a few employees that all are licensed, and I'm sorry, that are tip certified, and we have quite a large staff. So there's always someone there. And unfortunately,
Thank you.
things unfolded differently that evening.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Yasmin, are you finished?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So then when I stepped away,
She stepped away to double check because she doesn't know necessarily all the staff. Hey, does someone else have it that maybe we don't know, because they also work in different restaurants and so forth, right? So she had stepped away. I didn't know. So her interaction was with the inspectors. I was on the floor just dealing with customers, closing out registers, because like we said, it was during a shift change, okay? So I was on the main floor taking care of that and saw them through my peripheral and knew that she was dealing with them. And after a while, I looked and saw that they were by themselves, and I looked back again. And I said, well, let me go make sure everything is okay with the inspectors, and introduced myself. And I did remember that Inspector Johnson and we had met in the past. So I said, let me go and say, make sure everything is okay and see if anyone needs anything. I approached them. I said, hi, I'm Salome. I'm the owner and operator. And immediately the Inspector Johnson said, I know I've been here before. And I said, oh, I know, welcome back. And they proceeded to say, who's going to sign this? Sorry, who's going to sign what? Because normally if it's the inspection to sign it, then she would have signed it and they would have left, you know? So I knew that that couldn't be it. So I said, sign what? And he said, a violation. And I said, a violation for what? And we were, like they said, we were on the main floor. But then that's the moment that I asked, I said, let's go to the side so I can hear what we're saying, because we're on the main floor and I wanted to hear what this violation was about. We've never received a violation. A little bit of background on us. We're a family business. My father's been in this business for over 50 years. I've been myself in this business for 30 years. My younger sister right behind me. The 4 managers that we had on duty collectively, we have 90 years worth of business in this industry, have no violations, have no issues with any inspector ever in the past in any sort of way. Always a professional interaction. And I would go so far to say it's a pleasant interaction with all, okay? So I know I'd like to put that out there, because if it's something about us being non-compliant here in any way for the violation, okay? Step to the side, I said, so who's gonna sign it, who's gonna say it? I said, okay, well, what's the violation? Do you have your handbook? My handbook? And then I looked kind of confused and I said, is this about a handbook? And, you know, kind of no answer again, just blankness. And then, do you know code 52, section 39, for example? And I said, absolutely not. What's the violation? Then the gentleman said, how do you spell your name? Hold on a second. I'm not signing anything until I know what I'm signing. What kind of answers are these? What's the violation? Just tell me what it is. And then the final thing was an iPad, you know, in my face with, you know, now it's, you know, like I said, almost 10 o'clock, you know, almost 11 o'clock at night in the dark, iPad, small print, showing me the essentially, you know, the code or the section and so forth. You know, I attempted to read it for a second and I said, I can't read this right now. Can someone just verbalize what it is so I can sign? So I said, you know what? And this all interaction was just only with Inspector Johnson. Mr. Gregory only had asked me, how do you spell your name? And I said, I'm not spelling anything until I know what we're talking about. And I need some answers on this, because it was I just don't understand why it was so difficult. I just still to this day don't understand. So then I said, you know what? And I said, what's going on here? And I turned to Inspector Gregory and I said, you know, what's going on here? And he's like, okay, I'm going to tell you. And then that moment, Inspector Johnson stepped away, and from my peripheral, I saw her approach a table of mine that was seated for dinner and drinks, maybe a table of 7 or 8. And we had already passed the part of the inspection earlier with the IDs to check the IDs. We had already passed that ID inspection, as we always do. And once again, we had now approached, you know, customers of mine that are in the middle of dining, you know, and have an inspector at their table. And I understand that that's well within their rights to check for IDs. Absolutely. It would have been nice if it was some of the people that were just kind of maybe around the bar rather than people that were seated, because I would imagine that for those patrons of mine, that would have been a poor experience for them that evening, you know, to have such an, I mean, I wouldn't look at it as a positive experience. And being in the hospitality industry for this long, obviously, our customer experience is important to us. So that also affected my business in a manner that evening, okay? That being said, you know, I also expressed my frustration with Mr. Gregory at that time. I said, before you tell me, because he said, I'll tell you immediately. He goes, I'll tell you. And I go, okay, but before you tell me, because I knew you was going to do it. I said, that was a really weird what happened here right now. I don't understand why she didn't just answer me. And anyways, he immediately said, you don't have the tips person. And I would say within a second, I signed the document instantly. I said, okay, you know, I signed it, and that was that. We stepped away. When we stepped away, then Miss Johnson came back from the tables, you know, that she had approached. And she says, we need to get them to sign this. And Inspector Gregory said, I've got them to sign it. And she goes, who signed it? And she goes, she did, as in me. And she goes, no. We have 2 more violations now. And then that's when and my sister had stepped up, and that's when I just stepped entirely out of the equation again. I just said, let her handle it, because my experience with the inspector did not go well the first time. Okay.
So when the citation was signed, Inspector Gregory returned, as she said, and said she signed it. Inspector Johnson then said, I'm deleting it and adding 2 more. The 2 violations that she was trying to add, one was for us not having a handbook. And I said, no, we have a handbook. And I ran all the way upstairs and I brought it. I said, see, we have a handbook. She's like, no, this is not it. I go, this is it. This is the one we have. And it's online as well, the up-to-date one. We have a handbook. And she's like, and then she continued to say, she said, I'm deleting that one and I'm adding 2 more. She voided the signed RR 83 violation and deleted the signed record and rewrote the citation, this time adding RR 32. This creates a procedural fairness issue. The signed record reflecting our cooperation was removed and replaced with a new violation that included additional allegations. We respectfully question the procedural integrity of deleting a signed violation and rewriting it to include additional charges after a signature. If RR 32 implies the failure to cooperate, at no time did we refuse entry, refuse documents, or deny assistance. 3 managers, myself, Salome, and Kareem Marzuki, actively, I apologize. I had my notes. Oh my gosh.
Actively, we were getting all the paperwork and everything necessary in order to address.
Actively assisting the inspectors for approximately an hour, as they stated in their inspection. When clarification was requested on why she was doing that and why she was speaking to me so harshly, because when she said she was going to do that, and Mr. Marzuki can speak to all of this as he was a witness to the entire thing, I turned to her and I said, well, why are you doing that? She signed, we cooperated. We've been giving you everything you want. And she turned to me and said, I can speak to you however I want. I am a government official. And at that point, I truly felt helpless as a business owner. And so if RR 32 is intended for establishments that refuse to cooperate, businesses that deny entry, obstruct an inspection, refuse documentation, or shut the process down, this is not what occurred here. Inspector Johnson remained in our establishment for approximately 1 hour on a Friday night. During that time, as we said, the managers were actively assisting her. We did multiple rounds of identifications, brought our handbook, any documentation that she asked for. We gave the inspection our full and undivided attention. There was no denial of entry or obstruction, and there was no refusal to provide documents. When the initial RR 83 citation was presented, we did not refuse to sign it. We asked for clarification before signing a government document, which is a responsible and reasonable action for any licensee holder. Once Inspector Gregory took the time to explain the violation, it was immediately signed. At that moment, the record reflected cooperation. However, after the signed citation was obtained, it was voided and deleted. The violation was rewritten and RR 32, alleging refusal or non-cooperation, was added. The original signed citation demonstrated engagement of compliance. Deleting the signed record and replacing it with a charge of refusal fundamentally changes the narrative of the events that occurred that evening. If we had truly refused to cooperate, there would not have been a signed citation to delete. For those reasons, we respectfully submit that RR 32 does not align with the facts and for that evening, and we request for that to be dismissed. And for the board to consider that RR 33 be a fee but not a violation on our license, as it is our first offense in 13 years, and copies of the staff certification were provided to the board and Detective Voss.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All
If I
right.
may-
Commissioners, do you have questions?
Madam Chair, if I can, I'd like to ask Shay Johnson, Inspector Shay Johnson, to give her response to their presentation.
I maintain that everything that I read in my report is the recollection and the facts of what happened on that evening. And I'd like to add that Mr. Marzuki, I think I've been pronouncing his name incorrectly all night, so I apologize about that. But he was not available the whole time. As a matter of fact, we sat down to wait on him to go retrieve the Rules and Regulations Manual for at least 15 minutes and continue to discuss the matters of that night. He did return with the Rules and Regulations Manual that I believe was dated the year 2000 or 2001 or something like that. And regarding the electronic versions of the violations and things like that, I initially started the survey on my iPad when we entered the establishment because Inspector Gregory was still being trained that night. We were having technical difficulties with our surveys where fields were disappearing, different things were happening. So we were going back and forth between the two of us to see if we could get something onto the surveys and notice that there was no comments box. We were trying to enter notes and things like that. And I'd just like to add to the record that that's what was going on with the system, passing, the information back from one survey to the other. And beyond that, I'd just like to maintain that everything that I mentioned in my report is nothing but facts.
This Commissioner Sparkman, just so that I'm clear, Inspector Johnson, which individual was shouting the foul language?
I really don't know her by name, but I'd like to look at it's the owner in the middle.
So you're saying Miss Yasmin?
No. See, she doesn't even, she
Yeah.
can't even tell us apart.
Yeah. So I don't. Yeah.
And I'd like to say I may not be able to tell you guys apart. But
That's
one
okay.
of
That's reasonable.
Wait,
but
wait, hold,
that's
wait a minute.
not-
Wait a minute.
It's not an
Wait a minute.
insult.
Mr. Deloach.
To a degree.
I just want to make to the licensees, when you were speaking, she didn't interrupt. Okay, I know you're emotional, but in order for the transcript to be clear, we need one person testifying at one time. Okay, so let her talk, and the board is going to give you an opportunity to respond. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I don't mean any disrespect by not being able to actually identify the two of you because you really look, I believe you said you were family. You resemble one another. So on that particular night, yes, there was a lot of disrespect and there was a lot of yelling. There was a lot of screaming. And I actually asked you to move. I actually requested that we move to the side away from the patrons because I did not want the patrons to see what was going on because of your yelling and screaming, whichever one of you that it was. I got your name on that evening and I input it into the system so that I could be correct. So now, no, I apologize if I can't recollect which one of you it was by looking at you, but I do know on that particular night, I did get your name from you to put into the report so that I could have the correct information.
So, Madam Chair, I just want to make sure that the record is clear. I think she said the owner in the middle is the person that she spoke to.
That's what I said.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And the report says who I believe was the one that was
using the foul language. I guess it does. So
Because it was dark, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it was
Mhm.
dark, and we were back and forth, and
Okay.
it was, and I'll let you know that I was feeling a little like I didn't know how to react because of the language that she was using and things like that. So
If I can interject,
Who's that?
this is Inspector Gregory.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So she has it correct in her report. It was Salome that was doing the cursing.
Okay.
So if you're looking at the screen, Salome is the one that's all the way to the left.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. So this is Commissioner Sparkman again. So I wanted to ask the licensee Salome and Miss Yasmin. Can you say at this moment if Inspector Johnson's testimony is correct that foul language was used by you?
Yeah, I mean, at some point what I started to express my level of frustration, as she said that it was so dark in there. So imagine someone then putting an iPad after the third, please, Dad, sorry. Because I know they can't hear when we're both speaking. That's why I wanted to make sure that this is very clear. The only things that were coming out of my mouth, and my manager, Mr. Marzuki, was right behind me consistently, was, what's the violation? What's the violation? What's the violation? What's the violation? To this day, that never came out of Mrs. Johnson's mouth what that violation was. But all she was saying is, what's the signature? Since you don't have your handbook. And I said, wait a second, I never said I don't have a handbook. Is this about a handbook? And then later on, in that type of manner, went and added these two, and it's additional, and said that it was Yasmin that happened, and that's why, because that's whose signature it wasn't. No, Mr. Gregory had the original one in his hand because he sat next to me and he said, how do you spell your name? So that means he already had the document that had the violation on it. It wasn't her. The iPad that she had was showing me different, like I said, sections and codes. So she had the original one. She then decided to delete the original one and then add it on and create whatever this testimony is today that is an exaggeration. Hers is a complete falsehoods, a lot of them. Okay. Because I have no problem being cooperative. I'm absolutely cooperative. Mr. Gregory can say it. Mr. Gregory, how long did it take me to sign after you explained it to me? Matter of seconds, moments, nothing at all. I have no problem complying. If I'm in the wrong, I'm in the wrong, no problem. But I'll never, ever, and I'm sure none of you as well would agree, to sign something on your business that you have no idea what you're signing. And in this day and age where lots of things, I would tell you at that moment, I felt very threatened because I was thinking so many different things. And it definitely wasn't, you don't have your TIPS certified person here, okay? I had no idea what we were talking about. And I just didn't understand why it was so difficult to get that answer, a clear verbal answer on what that violation was. So my mind was in a lot of places and I felt threatened in my business. And then as I stopped talking to her, she then went and approached more people to add more violations. Absolutely. As a business owner, I felt extremely threatened, and at some point I'm going to have a reaction and say, yeah, this is BS. I mean, there's a limit. And
Okay.
that happened after it was when she came back with the two, and I'd seen her gone to this table and I didn't even know what the violations were. So she'd already decided it was for me being non-compliant though. But see, so then it's all backwards, but okay.
Yes. Yeah. It's not exactly the chain
Yeah,
of
the
events.
chain
that
of
took
events
place.
is a whole thing.
May I ask the board of something? Could we just please ask Mr. Gregory when he returned to the table with the iPad and had it under his arm and said, I got it, she signed it. Did Miss Johnson not turn around and say to you, I'm going to delete that one because I got two more. I'm going to delete it because I'm the one that signed the second one. And Mr. Marzuki was right next to me. I would please like that to be, shed some light on that for the board because.
Yeah. So am I good to answer that question, board?
Yes.
Okay. So what happened was no violation at that point had been put into my iPad. And so I had you prematurely sign it. And so that's what the issue was. And so we were having issues with our iPads that evening. But I have had her prematurely sign the survey prior to us putting the violations in my iPad.
Can I speak on that?
Okay, go ahead.
That the logic behind that is kind of doesn't work, right? Because if it's to say that the ticket is to say that I was non-compliant, yet I had signed on it, and then to go and void it and say this person wasn't compliant, then it should have been approached to me again, then possibly, right? Not take it to another person as of making it look as if I had totally, said you understand what I'm saying? I was compliant. So they decided, no, she wasn't. And we're going to take that out of the records entirely because that's not in their testimony at any point, or Mr. Gregory's, that I did sign something, right? Because it's saying that I'm being non-compliant. So even if all this is that they're saying is okay, that it wasn't installed in or whatever, sure. But then in the same token, where is in your testimony that I did sign as soon as I was told about the violation? Because now it's turned into I didn't sign. I wasn't cooperative, plain and simple, because the root of the problem was the inspector was not cooperative at all, and unprofessional, and in fact a liability to the liquor board and the county. Our addresses are all in Montgomery County. I'm a University of Maryland alum. My grandparents lived in Metzgerot Road. We grew up in Prince George's County. So we are very responsible business owners. We care about our community. We
love being part of this community. That's why we have a 13-year license with no violations. We take it seriously. Miss Little, Mr. Mendoza, so many people of the board can speak to what type of relationship we have with them. They say something, we get it done immediately.
I have no benefit, incentive, or track record or anything to act in this manner or behavior for absolutely no reason, and then to receive such a thing. And frankly, I just feel that it's weird, that it's not included that I did sign it, and then now it's coming out as this is part of the non-compliance. Anyways, so
yeah, it's just the story doesn't. The story is not aligned with what the events that took place. She can't tell us apart. Like the people who signed what. There's just a lot of errors in her entire report of what took place that evening, and so. All of us, and Mr. Merzuki again is here on the call as well if you guys would like to ask any questions of him as an eyewitness. But these were the events that took place. We have, felt very strongly about this matter immediately as it happened, because we didn't like the way that we were treated as business owners. We felt that people should be made aware of that. And, this is just, these are the events that took place that evening. They were very unfortunate, but I, would like the board to really know the facts of what took place that evening.
Madam Chair, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Do you guys want to call him in your case? The gentleman?
No. Unless it feels it's necessary, but I don't understand. Our story is our story. And I think it's pretty clear and obvious, because it just logically makes the course of the story that they're saying doesn't even it doesn't add up. It's not logical. This ticket.
Well, I did hear Ms. Yasmin say that he was a witness that night.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
Do you think we should have him say something as well? If so, I'd have to give him the oath.
Yeah, if there's any members of the board or yourself, Madam Commissioner, that feel inclined to ask any questions, to cross-check any statements that we've made or the events that took place that evening, please feel free to, bring him in if you feel that would benefit.
So just for the record, okay, I want to make sure that you understand what I'm asking you. You have this witness available. It's not up to the board.
No,
okay. You've made him available. Do you want this part of your case or not?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Madam Chair, I think you should swear him in.
All right. Thank you, Attorney. All right. Is that Mr. Karim with your hand up? Okay, you're the one. Okay, I'm going to give you the oath. All right. Do you hereby swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I swear.
All right. Would you please state your name and your home address for the record?
My name is Karim Marzouki. My address is 12287 Greenleaf Avenue, Potomac, Maryland 20854.
Okay. How do you spell your last name?
Marzouki.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Well, we could hear from you right now.
All right, ma'am. I was there. Yes. And when the thing starts, it's Salima, she was on the floor. I was with the two gentlemen, with the officers. And Salima, Sally, she came to say hi. I know. And anyway, the lady, she had the iPad in her hand. And she asked me if I sign. And I say no. And I say, because the owner, she's there. I say, okay, and say, Sally, she look at me and she say, for what? What? 2 times. And she lady, she put the iPad in her face too, and she say, we can assign. That's good. After that, quickly, she told her, if no, like I'm gonna write you another citation. Okay, and the thing start like honestly. After that, I left to get the IDs. I did not left to bring the books. It's Yasmin, she left to get the book. I did not. Nobody asked me for the book. Anyway, after that, she left. It was one table over there. I came back. After that, was a table on the corner for 7 or like 8 kids. And she asked them for the IDs. So it's all right. Okay, of course. But the way I think, honestly, like I go back. When they come in the door, I get them to the place and on the sidebar where we have all the license and everything. The gentleman, he asked me, I get him everything. He take picture, like always we do that. Always, I do everything by myself. I don't need to call anybody, the other owners. And you can see like how many times in our history from 2013, I signed. Anyway, and she asked me about this license and everything is like the way, I said, let me get the owner, honestly, because the way, I feel it like that. I swear, I'm understood, I'm not like the oath. I left, I get Yasmin. After that, we moved to that corner when Sally, she came. Yasmin, she left, and and Sally, she came to say hi, and the thing starts. And yes, eyewitness, when we get to the table, she told Yasmin, I'm officer. I can speak with you whatever I want, like the way I want. That's eyewitness too. That's like, if you have a question, ask me. I go like, I answer you. This is like my view to the thing. What happened? It's like like escalated, like I don't know how. Like she's looking, honestly. I be honest. I'm not like the owner. She's looking for something. She was looking for something, and that's all. This is my like how I see it.
All right, thank you. Commissioners, do you have any questions for him?
This
is Commissioner.
I'm sorry.
All
Go
right,
ahead,
Commissioner Norman.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I want to go back because you all said that since you started the business, you were not aware that there had to be a tip certified person on staff at all time?
Who, me?
No, the owners, the licensees. Is that was that not your testimony?
Sorry, it was muted.
It was
no.
us.
Yes, we always have had it. If you look at our license, if you look at our history with our license, I have always obtained that license. What I was saying is that I don't, at all times someone had to have it, meaning several employees on the premises, someone having it all at 24 hours. If there was like a lapse like that, I thought that I could have presented like, hi, this is my employee, this is his certificate, he's coming in, and that wasn't sufficient. I have always obtained the certificate. As I stated, mine had just expired earlier that year. So no, I understand that that is one of the rules of compliance in which licensee holders should have the tip certification. It was, my misunderstanding about the logistics of them being present and showing that upon inspection.
And so typically, how many people are on staff during a given time? In the evening, this is a Friday night, so I'm assuming it's busy. So how many employees do you have on staff then working?
Well, it depends on the time, right? So
well, we're talking Friday night. So on a typical Friday evening, how many people do you have working?
Well, we have a large staff, right? So I would say like our we have a large security staff. We have about you want us to include all of our entire staff, the whole staff?
The serving staff and the management. Just rough. Doesn't have to be precise, just rough.
I would say like also we probably have close to 25 employees.
Well, not that evening because the servers had left. There was a lapse in time.
And that specific time, in that moment of time,
the servers had left for the evening.
We would have had
we had like four bartenders
or less, three bartenders, and we had our fourth one coming in because
so that particular night, we're going to say you had 4 bartenders. Both of you were there, and this other gentleman was there, right?
The gentleman, Mr. Mizuki, and also we also had another manager but he was not present in any of this interaction. It was also there.
So right there, we're up to about 6 or 7 people, right? Am I right?
Yes.
And nobody was tip certified. Nobody. Your top management and your bartenders, and no one had a certification.
So we had quite a few that were before during the earlier shift. How many? Like between that lapse and that hour, we had like 4 or 5 that were there. Okay, that's one. But I understand that, and we're taking the ticket. We have no argument on this ticket, okay, because we understand that. And the same token for the logistics of the business, because when one is saying we're having tip certified individuals, because you want to make sure that your establishment is being run in a responsible manner and people are not over serving the guests and understand how not to overserve guests, correct? With our level of experience, obviously our business is like in good hands, and we were all on duty and on the floor. So in tip certified, it was expired. We've had them for 30 years, but the brain isn't expired. So I'm still running my business in a responsible manner. I just unfortunately didn't have a tips and I apologize.
But the answer is no. Yeah, right?
Yeah, she was saying no from the beginning.
Yes.
Okay. So, and then one other thing. So are you saying you did use profanity, or are you saying you didn't use profanity?
I've always said BS, and I'm not signing this, or not to say I'm not signing this BS. I said this is BS.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Towards the end, when the 2 violations came about again, and I'd not gotten any answers, and she'd approached the table, it was just, it was what it was. I was frustrated. I felt threatened.
2 ladies.
Okay.
It was an unfortunate evening.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Any other questions?
Yes, Commissioner Sparkman, I have a question for Inspector Johnson. Inspector Johnson, is it the language, the foul language, the reason why you wrote the violation rule and regulation number 32?
It was one of the reasons. The other, well, not including, not all of the reasons, but it was one of the main reasons. One of the other main reasons is because she was not willing to comply with the questions as though we had concluded our inspection. And I never told her, Inspector Gregory never told her that the inspections were concluded. And the way that she was approaching it was that we didn't have the right to ask certain questions, or she didn't have to comply with the questions that we were asking. And I was not done with the inspection. We were actually waiting for the book to come that they said they had. When I asked for the book, I would never walk in and immediately, as soon as I enter an establishment, say, who's going to sign? It just doesn't make any sense. But while we were waiting,
No, you did.
book,
You did.
while we
You
were
did.
waiting for the book to
You
come,
did. You did.
Excuse me,
hold on.
Mr. Kareem, let's let Inspector Johnson speak.
while
All
we
right, go
were
ahead.
while we were waiting for the book, I looked over my right shoulder, and there was a table back there that appeared to me to have minors drinking underage. So while we were waiting, I excused myself and went over and asked the waiter, who was the server that was waiting that table, to get IDs from the individuals at that table. We had not concluded the inspection. We were still in the process of during the inspection while we were waiting. So I just wanted to make that clear. And I hope I answered your question.
Yes,
All right.
you said that it was one of the primary reasons you wrote RR number 32.
Yes, and subsequently, it interrupted the flow of the inspection because they weren't complying, in my opinion. It felt like every question or area that we visited during the inspection, we were met with resistance.
Okay. And can you clarify for me that this language was used before the signature or after the signature?
Before.
Okay, thank you.
It was immediately upon me asking different questions to determine the answers for the survey.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All
Madam
right,
Chair.
I see a hand from.
Okay. Yes, me. That's like entirely untrue. Completely. Absolutely. She wasn't asking me any questions. Her only question to me and her, our only interaction was who's going to sign. And I kept saying, what's the violation? That is the extent of my conversation with you. That never happened in that manner. That's not what happened. We weren't in the middle. There were no questions being asked of me besides for me to sign. I never had a single question about any type of, besides, where's your handbook? And I said, is this about a handbook? I'm sure we have it. And then later on, that decided to be one of the other ones that you added on. So that wasn't what it was about. That wasn't what the inspection, I was approached immediately wanting a signature in an aggressive and threatening manner. And this story, and you're under oath, and this is completely false, completely. Like that's not how it happened at all. And it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense. I have no benefit in doing any of this and being non-compliant. And I run a tight ship, and I have 2 owners, 2 other managers, 90 years worth of management experience in there. And then I'm going to sit here and do this. It makes absolutely no sense. I was non-cooperative because the root of the problem was you never said what the violation was. And once it was said, it was signed, and that was it. And then it turned into a retaliation, clearly, and now it's just falsehoods under oath, completely. And this is an inspector, my Lord have mercy, doing business here.
And may I state something?
Yes.
And even in her response and saying that it looked like they were underage. And did she follow up to state that no one was because she checked everyone's ID? Like, I don't understand presenting these types of false information to the board and how, that paints us to look. She checked all of those IDs
and they're
at that
gonna
table.
Look young. They're college students.
Wait, let's let Ms. Yasmin finish.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. She said they looked like they were underage, but she didn't follow up with, once I checked those IDs, they were all valid IDs and there was no issue in that compliance. For her to say that she continued to run into issues with us, as she stated the time of the inspection, 1 hour, nearly 1 hour. This is an inspection that takes all of 10 minutes usually. She continued to look for problem after problem after problem. I literally said to her, why are you doing this? Like, why are you, she said, I don't like the way she spoke to me. And I said, but look at the way that you're speaking to me. And she said, I can speak to you however I want. I'm a government official. How does that make me feel as a business owner? After I've spent 1 hour running up and down and trying to get her every document that she's requested, complying, someone has already signed. He said, had it under his armpit. She signed. We're good to go. Quite honestly, Mr. Gregory, you look shocked. Your reaction when she said she's deleting it, you looked at her very surprised in that moment. And Mr. Marzuki can speak to that. And so to my understanding, I would imagine that why she would paint this completely different story of what took place that evening is very hard for me to wrap my brain around. And this is and this has never been anything that historically our business has ever done.
Madam
Thank
Chair,
you.
can I just add one thing? It appears if you guys want to talk to your father, because he's been trying to interject, just mute. Okay, no, mute and then talk to him, and then you guys can convey what, if he's at, not now, because,
thank you so much. We
but if
appreciate
you
that.
need to mute and talk to him,
Yes,
you do it
we
that
will.
way because he's trying to get a word in edgewise. Okay,
Yes.
so just,
Well, he
I mean,
wasn't
if you
there
want to
that
mute,
evening, so-
okay,
Thank you,
No,
Attorney
he's just-
Deloach.
okay.
Thank
So,
you so
and I have
much.
one question.
He wasn't there that evening, so we just
Okay,
want to
all
make sure
right,
that you.
all right.
thank you so much.
One point of clarification. I heard
Yes.
two different things about your history. This is a family-owned restaurant for 50 years.
No,
I'm the one with 50 years of experience. These two guys, they grow up with me. They were in my business. Why they could have a small start
Okay,
to work
so
in the bar.
all right, because I heard earlier that it's been run for 50 years and we never had a violation. Then I've heard 13 years.
I never had a violation.
And I just want to make sure the record is clear. So
Yeah,
13 years is what you're talking about.
Yes.
Correct. Yes, and with but as a total as 50, we had businesses in DC, 4 businesses in DC, 50 years, and we've never had any violations.
Even
or
in
any
Washington,
issues.
DC.
And we
why-
were running.
That's why PG
we were
County gave me
managing
the
those.
license.
Okay,
I'm honored
wait.
to
I
have-
think he does
okay.
want to speak.
So,
He does
so
want
what
to
is on the
speak.
record for the Prince George's County is 13 years, right?
I said I'm honored that my name is Mike Afshar. I'm a father of these two kids, ladies sitting in here. And so,
wait, sir. You haven't been sworn. Hey, was he sworn in?
Yes, he was sworn
Yes.
in.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm honored that when I came to PG County to apply for a license, and they checked my record back in DC because I had business there for 20 some years, and I never had any violation. I do believe in a business to let people to have fun, not to hurt them. And I love to have the business around the colleges because I can talk to the kids. And this whole thing is bothering me. Inspectors should have come to the business and teach everyone how to run the business, not to harass them. This is the only thing I can say.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Commissioners, did you have any other questions? All right. Do you all, licensees, do you have any other comments?
We just would like you to thank all of you for giving us the opportunity to explain the events that took place that night. And we thank you all for your consideration with this matter and hope that, it is handled in fairness and in the integrity of the Prince George's County that we have always trusted and believed in. And we thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity to shed light on the events of that evening. I think it was important for that to, unfortunately, that it happened because has been something that has been a heavy burden on all of us as a family. It really has caused a lot of stress for us because it's not something we've ever really experienced. And, for us, it was very heavy, right?
All right.
So thank you for taking the time to listen to what happened that evening.
All right, commissioners, do you have any other questions or comments? All right, hearing none, may I have a motion? Is there a motion?
I'm sorry. This is Commissioner Norman. I find Terrapin Turf in violation of Rule and Regulation 83 and 32 and assess a fine of $1,500.
This is Commissioner Sparkman. I second the motion.
All right, it has been properly moved and seconded. Is there a question regarding the motion? All right, hearing none, let's vote. Commissioner Sparkman,
Aye.
Commissioner Camacho,
Aye.
Commissioner Norman,
Aye.
Commissioner Smith, Commissioner Smith.
You're on mute.
All right, and chair votes aye. The motion to fine Terrapin's Turf $1,500 fine passes. Thank you.
Madam Chair, that concludes the regular session for today. We can release the court reporter, excuse all of the witnesses, and restart the recording and start the administrative voting session.
All right, thank you.
Administrative voting session. Administrative voting session, February the 11th, 2026. Report from the chief, item number 1.
Good evening, everyone. I have 2 violations. First one's going to be at the Tropicana Grill and Food Mart. They have an alleged violation that occurred on January 24th, 2026 for room regulation number 83, alcohol awareness. In this particular case, no one in the establishment was alcohol awareness certified. They do not have any previous violations in the past 2 years. What would the board like to do?
All right, commissioners, what is your pleasure?
We can do an offer of compromise, $1,500 in training to be completed within 30 days.
Is there any objection to unanimous consent? Hearing none, that passes.
Okay, next case is going to be an alleged violation at the House of Lee Restaurant. Violation occurred on 9/22/2026 for room regulation number 1, sales to minor. In this case, the underage operative was in the establishment and bought 1 25-ounce can of Rita Mango Orita. The ID was checked, but they did not verify the correct age, and they actually served the drink. This establishment does not have any violations in the past 2 years. What would the board like to do?
All
Show
right,
cause.
commissioners, again, what is your pleasure?
Show cause.
Any objection to show cause? All right, hearing none, that is approved to show cause.
That concludes my reports.
Thank you.
All right, Madam Chair, item number 2 on the agenda is the minutes for regular session January the 14th, 2026, as well as the administrative voting session for January the 14th and January the 29th. I'll need these accepted into the record.
All right, are there any questions regarding the minutes of the regular session January 14th and administrative voting session and the administrative voting session for January 29th? Any questions? All right, is there any objection to unanimous consent for approval? All right, hearing none, the minutes are approved.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd just like to go back to item number 1 on the agenda for rule and regulation number 83, which was alcohol awareness. Patty, Ms. Bell, I'm sorry, what number did you hear for the violation? What was the dollar amount?
1,500.
Can we do 1,500?
No.
It's an alcohol awareness violation. So the very
Okay,
first.
so it's 250?
Yes.
250. I'm sorry, my correction, 250.
All right, let me just recall the case. Item number 1 on the agenda, report from the Chief Clark, alcohol awareness violation, Tropicana Grill and Food Mart. What's the motion?
The motion is for violation rule and regulation 83, $250 fine training.
All right, any objection to unanimous consent? All right, this passes.
All right, item number 3 on the agenda, monthly reconciliation report for January of 2026. I'll need these accepted.
All right,
If there are
are
no
there
questions-
any questions regarding the monthly reconciliation?
No.
All right, hearing none, is there any objection to unanimous consent? All right, hearing none, the monthly reconciliation is passed.
Thank you. And finally, the scheduled meetings up to the 1st of June. Madam Chair, if there are any commissioners that will not be available for any of these hearings, please be sure to let me know. We did take note of Commissioner Sparkman's expected absence, and that's all I have, Madam Chair.
You should have mine too, Director.
Okay.
You
I
had
won't
put
be
in
here.
the 11th, right? March 11th?
Right, right, the 11th.
Ms. Bell.
Any
has that.
others? Okay, thank you all.
Thank you.
All
Good
right,
night.
Thank you,
have a good
guys.
evening.
Enjoy the
good
rest of the evening.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Is anyone else seeing these floating emojis?
I
Yeah,
was wondering,
yeah.
Okay.
Who's doing it?
yeah, who's
All right.
doing it?
Yeah. Have no clue. All right.